Radio in motion. Program loading in 3, 2, 1. Program activated.
Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Radio in motion.
All right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Radio in Motion tonight. We're doing surf rock, all that sort of that indie rock from the early 2000s and late 90s that just makes you either want to take up surfing or just go to the beach and pretend you're a surfer, or sit at home and relax and listen to the songs I'm playing, and somehow in your mind you'll smell the ocean air and the salt, and you'll feel the spray as you're surfing in your mind. Okay, that's nice for today, but I say when the weather's good, definitely get out there. So that's what's inspired me tonight. But first up, we're going to have another installment of The Ugly Truth. And the truth can be ugly, but it can set you free. And the ugly truth is a lot of people just can't wrap their head around how Orange Men Bad Trump won in America. And I'm getting a lot of those questions here, especially as an American living down under in Australia. Like I tell people, you have to first of all live there and understand it, because it's hard to see it from the lens of mainstream media, which I'm sorry to say is completely biased, because they are the propaganda machine of the the current power and the government. Whether you want to call that the left or right, I don't really want to get into that. As far as left or right, I'm looking for logical and illogical. I'm looking for what's right for the people who are meant to have a voice, and I'm for what is right in a republic and a democracy, and making sure that that voice is heard. And that's why I just say the current government. And so, yeah, if you're getting everything from the mainstream media, if you just think Orange Man bad, he's a convicted felon and all these things, none of these things are true. And like I always say, look them up for yourself. Don't take my word. Seek out the truth yourself. And all I'm after is talking about the honest truth, whether you like it or not. First of all, we have definitely actually unburdened ourselves by what has been. That was one of Kamala's favorite sayings, and I'm not having a go at her. I think she's funny. Some of the things that come out of Trump's mouth are also really a little bit on the side of crazy. I say neither of them were the perfect choice, but the people spoke, and they chose who they believed was going to be the better choice moving forward as a country. And again, will that resonate through the world? Of course it does. The U.S. is a huge power, whether you like that or not, and it will resonate through the U.K. and Australia, and I hope it trickles down in a good way. First of all, again, when you live in a country and you don't live in a bubble of Hollywood where the elites and the billionaires think that they know what's happening in real America, in real blue-collar America, and Australia is just like that too. Any Western civilization is like that. There's the people that go to work every day, they try to raise their families, they have the 9 to 5, they live in the neighborhoods, they see the gas prices, they see the taxes, they see they can barely pay their mortgage. This is the real life that's in front of the people each day. And the fact is the voters are concerned about the economy, the border, and wars. And like I tell people, love them or hate them, it's not about being personal. Like I always say, election day is not Valentine's Day. You don't have to like the person. You have to trust that the decisions are going to be the best for the people, and that this person is going to surround himself or herself with smart people who also have the best interests of the people in mind. And the fact is when I talk about wars, I always remind people, when Trump was the president the first time, he didn't get us into a single new war, and certainly tried his best to get us out of them. And the fact is this is something he's run on. He has no interest in foreign wars, and the people listened, and that's what they want too. And I'm behind that. I'm not into the military-industrial complex, as in war for war's sake. And I guess those are some of the uglier parts of America. And I agree, it's a real thing. War is profitable, and you think, oh, what about saving the people and saving the children? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. To get out of a war that's pointless, and because it's killing children and young people and innocent lives for no other reason than it's profitable. So the fact is now it's about holding him accountable for the things that he promised he would do. And that's the least that any president can do. And also, why such a shift? Why did people overwhelmingly, vote for him? I also believe it is about having too much power on one side. And whether you like it or not, at the moment, the left and the Democrats, they have too much power. And that is the point of America that everyone needs to understand. It is not about any particular side having too much power. It is about checks and balances. It is about the people. It is about, the Senate, the executive branch, the judicial branch, and that we are meant to have a voice in that. And like I say, Election Day is not Valentine's Day. You don't have to love him as a person. You have to trust that he's going to make the right decisions from a presidential standpoint. Also, this whole dictator thing. It's funny when you talk to people who actually live in countries with, communist countries. Talk to immigrants who live in America who actually voted for Trump, who come from Cuba, who come from places where there really are dictators. Dictators don't win by democratic election. Dictators don't win by fair election, elected by the voice of the people. Winning the popular vote and the electoral vote. And again, if you don't understand both of those, I'm not going to go into it now. Definitely look that up. But both of those matter. You have to win over some of the key states and larger states because based on their population, they have more of a sway in the electoral vote. And he won both of those. So the other thing is when the other side, the current government, Biden and Kamala, calling, anybody who votes for Trump as garbage, I just don't think, first of all, that was the right move. And they found out it wasn't the right move. You can't alienate half the country when they feel that this is the right choice for them. And again, I know there'll people that they'll say, oh, well, they're all ignorant and they have no idea. And they were snowed under by all this BS and he's a liar. And they believed the hype and the bullshit. So I say that about both sides. The entire media circus, the entire, like I say, give them bread and circuses. That's what this whole election was. And frankly, I am happy it's over. But both sides, and I'll go into this in a bit, they spent billions, not millions, billions on the campaign trail. And by the way, the left did spend more, sorry to say, Kamala and Biden on their election trail. They spent more. And it's ridiculous. So yes, first of all, that's just a farcical thing just to get elected. Now here's the other thing. So this is about why did he win and why did they lose? How is that possible? Because Orange Man bad. First of all, I think the Democrats need to learn this important lesson is that Hollywood has historically, at least for 50 years, at least, if not more, has been the arm wielded by the Democratic Party. And this time around, it didn't work. And I think that speaks volumes that they didn't read the room, okay? We really could care less at what celebs said. Even with their millions of followers, nobody listened because, again, when, the George Clooney's and the Oprahs and the Robert Downey Jr.'s and even Harrison Ford, that one hurt me the most. Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, all the fake Avengers, like I call them, they just assumed that these people would hold such sway by saying, hello, I'm an actor, and therefore I am an expert in politics. So when I say vote for this person, I've done my research as an actor. Listen to me and vote for Kamala. And again, even if it were, and vote for Trump, the Hollywood machine didn't work this time. And I think that's interesting. And even something like Oprah, you do realize, and again, look this up yourself, do you really think that Oprah just invited Kamala Harris on out of the goodness of her heart because she believed in making sure that she was elected? She was paid, folks, a ridiculous amount of money. And when you're a paid spokesman, you know that's actually something that needs to be stated on the ad or the interview, that this is a paid advertisement. This is a paid support for this, for this politician. And of course, they didn't go into that. Of course, all of them were paid. Again, I'm not knocking it. They are actors, and that's their job. They get paid for acting. So, and again, specifically, when Kamala was campaigning, she paid Oprah $1 million to interview her. Okay, I get it. That all comes out of the campaign fund, and that's fine. But I don't think it was necessary, especially in today, which I'll talk about in a minute, which is, mainstream media and the news and all the celebs and all those shows did nothing. Going on podcasts for free, going on Twitter, now X, going on the social media platforms, that worked. And yes, Trump took advantage of that, and they really missed the boat. They really thought Hollywood was going to save them. And again, let me say, don't you think it's disgusting that, again, Oprah, I'm not saying she hasn't earned her place. Of course, she's worked hard. She has earned everything she has in her career. But again, it doesn't go over well when someone like Oprah comes out and tries to school people and say, you don't know, you better vote this way, or you're wrong, because this is how the world is. I don't want to be mean, but people like Oprah don't live in your world. They don't go to the store and put groceries in the shopping cart. They don't get in their car and worry about filling it up. Things are brought to them. They live in their mansions. And again, I'm not saying it hasn't been earned, but they don't live in your world. They live in a bubble. And people in the bubble can't tell you how your world is and tell you how to vote. They can't tell you how the economy is because they have no clue. They don't know a dollar from $100. They have no idea. Cars pick them up. Jets pick them up. While they talk about climate and carbon footprint, while their Learjet, their private jet, spews out more carbon than your car would in its lifetime. They're all about preaching down to you when they don't even live in that world. Okay, Oprah owns an estate in Hawaii the size of Central Park. Again, I'm not saying it's not earned. I'm saying they can't speak for you. Yes, they're American citizens and they can vote, and that's great. Good on them. But them telling you that one side good, other side evil, it just didn't work. And someone like Cardi B. Yes, I am going to have a go at Cardi B. Look, God bless her for the things that she's done and the talent that she has to make her career. But she was just an unmitigated disaster. On live TV, when the teleprompter went out, you could see right there that there was no actual connection or real passion or even knowledge of what she was talking about. I think that's the least you can do, is be able to at least sort of talk off the cuff. And when she lost the prompter, she had no words, nothing to say. Just not Kamala, good, nothing. Because she was given a paycheck and given words to read. And that's a fact. And you shouldn't believe people like that. That's not how you need to elect a leader of the free world. And again, sorry, Cardi B. I mean, this is a woman who tweeted out, I wonder what pee tastes like. And that's verbatim. I'm just saying, And then afterwards, she puts a video up, and I'll read this without swearing. It says, y'all won. I know you're happy, whatever the F. However, you need to leave me the F alone. I got one more cigarette in me before I start lighting your asses up. I'm just saying, is that really someone that you feel is the right spokesman, or someone that young girls should look up to and aspire to be, and someone that you should be taking a political advice from? Probably not. So yeah, like I say, they didn't read the room. Mainstream media is dead as disco. I'm sorry. And that does include Fox, whether I think sometimes they are more fair in their approach because, it happens to be they were going for the side that was really the underdog. And but both CNN and Fox and all mainstream media, especially, in Australia, oh my God, ABC, and in America, that's PBS, whenever the government is funding that television station, you really think it's unbiased? Come on, folks. There's no such thing as unbiased. When the anchor man or woman sits in front of the camera and they start speaking, they can't speak against anything that might be the advertiser paying for them. Like I say, the classic was all around the world about Pfizer. My God, you couldn't say anything, honest actual facts about Pfizer, because the next ad up was about getting the vaccine, sponsored by Pfizer. So again, that's just the tip of the spear when it comes to, you can't listen to a media source that has paid advertising, which gives them bias because they're controlled by big pharma and big tech. But like I say, the Democrats didn't read the room, because podcasting and social media is what won out here. And yes, that does include X, and love him or hate him, I do believe Elon Musk buying X. And again, you can look this up yourself. All the documentation that was found to where in the last election, specifically the FBI made sure to keep certain narratives down and make sure they were quashed. And Facebook, that has also come out to be true, that they wanted to control the narrative. That's not freedom of speech. I always liked Twitter and X because I feel like it's the town square. It's the new town square. As in, anybody can say what they feel. It's up to you to check the facts. It's not about one side or the other. Now we're getting into, like I say, the Misinformation Act and the Ministry of Truth and all this about who decides what's real and what's not. The government will decide. We'll get a panel together and we'll decide that this is true and this is false. It doesn't work like that. So they missed out because social media made sure that honest, unbiased truth got out, and then people were able to make their own decision. And yes, that does include, platforms like X, and Joe Rogan was a huge one. I'm not going to lie. And again, Trump went on that show. None of it was, all pre-scripted and written down. That's not how Joe Rogan plays that. And the approach for anyone who comes on the show is that it'll be open discussion. And Joe Rogan threw all kinds of questions at him that were off the cuff. And I think, again, he did a great job to answer most of them, even if he wasn't an expert in the subject. And yeah, Kamala stuck with Hollywood and the mainstream media. And it didn't work because, again, we don't want to hear from those people who live in a bubble in their Hollywood Hills world. And this was a thing that I was thinking about. This is a video, something Hillary Clinton said a while back. She said, if we lose the ability to moderate content, we lose total control. Boom, you're right, you did. That's right, you lose total control. Do you hear those words? It feels like back then someone thought, that's right, you need to keep on top of that because crazy people could say crazy things. It is, again, it's about freedom of speech. Like I say, if you truly believe in freedom of speech, someone can raise the Australian flag or the American flag and have pride in your country and your neighborhood and your friends and family and everyone who supports that life and working hard for your children to go to your job and do a good job and pay for your kids to make sure they have a good life. Basic things that I think everyone has a standard baseline, thing in common for the pursuit of happiness. And then while you're doing that, yes, someone right next to you may be burning the flag. You can't go, with all your troops and stomp that person down. You have to deal with it. But hopefully you two can have a chat, the one burning the flag and the one raising the flag, and find out why each are doing that in the same country and what does that mean to you. And then you find how to, go down the road and you find a balance in that. You find a trade-off, because I'm sorry, that is life. There is no 100% right and 100% wrong. There are trade-offs. Okay, there are some things, but I think these should go without, this would go without saying. Yes, there are right and wrongs. Thou shalt not kill. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. These are simple things to live by. But beyond that, it is a world of gray. And again, things like late night TV. I think about Jimmy Kimmel. He really he's just a one-trick pony. He's so obsessed. He's got Trump derangement syndrome. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. I remember when late night, and by the way, I'm sorry, late night's dying and it's their own fault. They're committing suicide. Late night used to be fun. I have no idea what Johnny Carson or Letterman or Jay Leno, what their politics were. I have no clue. All I know is they were fun to tune into and watch them unbiasedly make fun of everybody. Make fun of the president, both sides, make fun of both politicians, have a joke. Like I say, the human experience is funny. Everyone's life story, has comedy to it. And it is when you pick a side and then you pick a target. And for Jimmy Kimmel, he is, orange man bad. And to this moment right now, his whole opening monologue is focused around Trump. I tell you, I think people are tired of that crap. They're just tired of it. They want to be entertained. They want some escapism. They don't want to be preached to. Same with in movies, you don't go to the movies to be preached to. That's for another discussion. So yeah, late night TV just bombed with that one, and people are tired of it. Just the political rhetoric and so one-sided. That's not what I remember late night as being. Where there are others like Bill Maher, thankfully. He says he is still on the left. He's an old world liberal, and he says the thing is the current far left, they moved. He didn't move. They moved too far from him, And like I say, myself included, I believe in balance and Zen and right down the middle, and you need to discuss it until you both come together and find the way forward. And thankfully there are other shows that give more of an unbiased truth. Again, Bill Maher's great. He's still got his show. He has a great, he's also gotten into podcasting, and he has a show called Club Random, and he invites everyone on from both sides of the spectrum. And I love that, from Ben Shapiro to Russell Brand, people who couldn't be further, politically or ideologically, but they just have a chat about anything, movies, food, music, maybe a little bit of politics. They agree to disagree. They have a good laugh. They walk away. They shake hands. That is the ultimate honesty and truth, and that's how America should be. And let me just point out a few of these things from Orange Man Bad. Within 48 hours, the supposed misogynist appointed the first female Secretary of State in history. The Taliban announced that they want peace with America and they don't want to be on the terrorist list, and they're willing to talk. Putin announced Western civilization is not the enemy, and that the global New World Order is at an end, and I believe in that too. I'm sorry. There's all the globalists, the World Economic Forum, the Klaus Schwabs of the world. Bill Gates is one of those. All the people that think that it's all about this globalism and global world order, and that some cabal, they're all the smartest people in the room. They get together and they'll decide everything for you. That's not how the world works, and that's done. So Xi Jinping, China, says he wants peaceful coexistence with the U.S. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of its Hamas leaders, and the stock market and crypto was at an all-time high. And again, you could say that's all rubbish. I still can't stand him. It's disgusting. He's Hitler. He's evil. He's a dictator. I don't know what to say. The proof is in the pudding, and you're going to have to deal with reality as opposed to what you heard somewhere. And also Zelensky, pretty much, as far as the Ukraine war, Trump will certainly be on the forefront of, we're done sending you billions of dollars while there's Americans on the street who are starving and homeless and on drugs and need help and need assistance. We're tired of sending our money to you because you're, a wannabe dime store warlord. And I'm sorry, that's a fact. And no, none of this is about America going in and saving democracy. If that's the case, and that hasn't happened for a long time, we're talking World War II. World War II was real, against real tyranny and, an actual despicable, disgusting, regime was about to, envelop the world. That was different. And that is what America or Australia or the UK, that is still what I believe military is for, is because you use that power and you wield that power for good. But the Ukraine war, I'm sorry, it is about the military-industrial complex just loving all of its military contracts and making mucho dinero. So these are all the things that are happening, and he's not even in office yet. And I think that's just something to consider for anyone who's a total naysayer. And again, Hollywood, the land of narcissists, filled with hypocrisy. And again, you see some of them. some of them need to retire. I mean, they're looking like Cinnabites from Hellraiser. I don't know if you know what that looks like, but where their skin is stretched and there's like pins sticking out, and they look like they're straight from something demonic. I don't want to listen to these people anymore. I don't want to listen to their ideologies and them trying to save themselves and be immortal by, drinking the blood of children and doing weird, disgusting things to their faces because they're only about the superficial. They're only about their face. I think they sold their soul long ago. And again, in general, and I think this is interesting because, I officially, when I left the States, I was still registered as a Democrat. My mom is a Democrat through and through. That's a whole other story. She's got Trump syndrome for sure. But the Republicans have ended up more the party of the working class, and the Democrats left them long ago. They became the elites. They became worried about money and power. And once they had power, they don't want to let it go. I get that that's possibly human nature, but that's the problem. It's about making sure the balance of power is back to normal. And so again, if that has to shift to the other side, well, it is what it is if you want to gain balance. And again, for anyone who goes, it's all just the white racist voted for Trump. All right, 1 in 3 voters of color voted for Trump. Won over the Hispanic men by 10 points. 46% of Latino voters voted for Trump. And the minute someone says, but that's because they don't understand. Oh my God, do you hear how racist that is? And that's what the Democrats do. So you want to belittle someone and you want to make it divisive about race ideologies or gender, and you say that you don't want to pin labels on people, but when it comes to voting, they don't really know. They don't really understand what they're voting for. Oh my God, that is so condescending. And again, they don't even hear themselves. The fact is the smart people of America, of all genders, all colors, all religions, decided that this man is the right way forward for the country at the moment, and you're going to have to live with it. So that's all I have to say when again, I'm constantly asked, how did this happen? Again, I think most people went by mainstream media, which just, they always gave you maps and data and showing you these figures that the whole country, 100% was behind Kamala, and only a small margin would be behind Trump, and they're just the garbage. It turns out that map changed, and it turned blood red with Republican votes, and that's most of the majority of the country. So I guess they're all insane, and we'll see where we go from here. But again, like I say, you make your own choice, and it starts simple. It starts with your family and your values, your community, your household, your neighborhood, the simple things. If you want to know, how does the world get so bad? How do people end up on such, a bad road and make bad choices? Again, I'm not saying that you are the savior of everything, because even if you teach your kids right, people can be persuasive and they can get bad influences in their life. But I dare say, it comes down to the family. You need to start there. And just try to instill good values and trust. Ensure that your children, as they grow, trust you and to come to you to ask questions, and so you can hope to give them the best tools to make the right decisions as adults as they go out there in the world. And then hopefully that helps your neighborhood, your community, your state, your country, and on and on. Again, I know that doesn't fix everything, but it's a good start, and I think we've lost that a bit. Like I always say, they used to say it's 6 o'clock. Where are your children? Well, back in the day, they said that because they were all out and the kids were coming home when the sun was going down. Now you know where your kids are. They're in the next room with the door locked on their phone and not talking to you. And I think that's where you need to start. You need to start bringing back the family. And I'm all for technology. I'm all for social media. We can't stop that road. We're headed down it, but try to keep it in check and find balance, as with everything. I say balance again. All right, that's it for me on this episode of The Ugly Truth. More great tunes on Radio Motion's surf rock episode tonight on 99.3 FM Sunbury Radio. We'll be right back after word from our awesome sponsors.